are going to wrap up the first part of our expressions unit. And we are going to do that by looking at how to write expressions from words. So to start out, I want you to think about how would you write the following as an expression? The sum of 2 and 8. So in the chat, how would you write the sum of 2 and 8 as an expression? Okay, Nathan says 2 plus 8. And Nathan, why did you write the expression that way? What told you that it would be 2 plus 8? Okay, so the word sum tells us we're going to add. Okay, so we know there's going to be some addition in there. And how did you know to use 2 and 8? Because of the words 2 and 8. So 2 and 8. Now, could I have written it as 8 plus 2? Would that have meant the same thing? Okay. So 2 plus 8, or 8 plus 2, is the sum of 2 and 8. All right, what about this one? The sum of a number and 8. How would you write that as an expression? Okay, well, we know the word sum again is going to tell us to add. We know that it's going to have the number 8 in it. This part right here where it says a number, we don't know what that number is yet, and that's probably why you used a question mark, Nathan. Is there something I could use besides a question mark to represent a number? Okay, we could use a variable. So give me a variable that I could use. All right, A. So the sum of a number and 8, we can represent as the expression A plus 8. Any questions about those two? Good morning, Jahira. Good morning, Monica. All right, let's take a look at some more. The sum of 6 groups of 2 and a number and 2 groups of 3 and a number. So I'm going to start by looking for those keywords. So the first one I come across is sum, which tells us that we are going to be adding something together. I'm going to skip this 6 groups of real quick, and I'm going to go to 2 and a number. So 2 and a number tells me that I'm going to have the number 2 and tells me to add. And a number, we don't know what this is, so we need to use a variable for it, just like we did up here. So I'm going to use x. Now I'm going to come back to this part right here. 6 groups of. 6 groups of tells me I am taking this 2 plus x and I am multiplying it by 6. Okay, so if I have 6 groups of 2 plus x, I am doing 6 times 2 plus x. Does that make sense? Any questions about that? Okay, what questions? Yes, it makes sense, or yes, you have questions. Okay. So the sum of 6 groups of 2 and a number and 2 groups of 3 and a number. So and again, we are adding. 2 groups means I'm going to have a 2 outside the parentheses. 3 and a number. 3 plus x. So this expression right here is what these words up here, the written expression, is telling me to do. Any questions about that one? All right, let's move on to another one. Two groups of a number and 5 less than 3 groups of 2 times a number and 5. Okay. So we have some different wording in this one. So 2 groups of a number and 5. I'm going to write it here. 2 times x plus 5 is what that means. Excuse me. 3 groups of 2 times a number and 5. So we know 3 groups of means there's a 3 outside the parentheses. How would I write 2 times a number? How would you write that? 2 times a number. How would you write 2 times a number? Well, we know a number would be x, and I want 2 times this. So that means I have how many x's if it's 2 times a number? 2. So 2 times a number, we would say, is 2x plus 5. Now we need to figure out how to write these two expressions together, showing this less than. Less than means I'm going to do what operation? We're going to do some subtraction, okay? Because less than means to subtract. If 2 groups of a number in 5 less than this part of it is my 2 times x plus 5 going to be on the left side of the subtraction or the right side of the subtraction if it is less than? Okay. It's going to go on the right side because it is less than this right here. So we are subtracting it from our 3 groups. So over here, we're going to have 2 times x plus 5. And over here are 3 times 2x plus 5. Okay, so if you see the words less than, whatever comes before it is going to be written second. Okay, so this is less than that. Any questions about that one? All right. One more. And this is a long one. The sum of 1/2 a group of a number and -3 and 2 groups of -3 times a number and 4. Okay. So first thing, we know sum tells us we are going to add. A number and -3. How would I write a number and -3 as an expression? A plus -3. Or I could do a minus 3 also. And it tells us 1/2 a group. So how would I write 1/2 a group of a number in -3? What would I write on the outside of my parentheses? We can divide this whole thing by 2, or I could also multiply by 1/2. Okay, I'm going to write that down here. These two things right here, these two expressions are equal. Okay, they are the same expression written 2 different ways. Okay, so we can either write it as divided by 2 or multiply by 1/2. Means the same thing. 2 groups of -3 times a number and 4. So -3 times a number and 4. How am I going to write that? All right, so Nathan says it's going to be 2 on the outside, so 2 groups. -3a plus 4. And if I wanted to write it down here with my 1/2 the other way, the back part of this expression, the second part, is going to look exactly the same. Any questions about that one? Okay. Let's take a look at your assignment for today. So for today, your assignment's going to be a little bit different. I'm trying something different with you all today instead of just Google Slides. So if you've ever used or had an assignment in Nearpod, that is what we're going to do. It is actually embedded in your or the assignment page, so you don't have to click out of it unless you really want to. On the first slide, you're going to type your name, and then you're going to click Join Lesson. Okay. Whenever you click Join Lesson, it lets me know or lets me see what you're working on each step of the way until you're done. Once you've done that, you are going to click this arrow, and it's going to bring you to the first page, and it tells you in your directions you're going to match each algebraic expression to the correct word expression. So you're going to click on a card, and if you need to expand it out, you can click this little blue dot, and you are going to find the expression that it matches. And you're going to keep going until you get them all right. Okay, so you can have as many tries on this as you need. Once you're finished, the next slide, the next few slides are going to be open-ended questions. So you are going to look at the written expression, and you are going to type me the algebraic expression like we were just doing together. So you need to tell me what 12 more than the sum of x and 7 looks like. Okay. And then you click on, and you'll go to the next one. You'll keep doing that. There's 4 of them, I believe. And they do get a little bit harder as you go along. Any questions about your assignment for today?